Stop trying to save money. Saving is a manual process. Humans are terrible at manual processes. We forget. We get emotional. We hesitate. We spend. If you're relying on willpower to build wealth, you have already failed. In engineering, when we want to build a system to run forever without crashing, we don't hire a guy to stand there and watch it. We build an engine. We build a closed loop system that runs on autopilot. Last week, we stopped the bleeding. You can watch the video right here. We did the efficiency audit. We plugged the lifestyle leaks. But now you have a new problem. It's a good problem to have. You have excess capital sitting in a bank account, doing absolutely nothing. It is idle energy. In the field of thermodynamics, idle energy dissipates. Entropy. Things tend toward chaos if they're not controlled and focused on. Inflation eats it. Impulse purchases eat it. Today, I'm handing you the blueprint to the financial engine. This is the exact automated system I use to capture every dollar of profit from my business and instantly convert it into a wealth building asset without me ever touching it. We're going to cover the 4 components of the engine: the intake, the filter, the ignition, and the turbocharger. If you set this up once, it'll take care of you for the rest of your life, potentially. If you don't, you'll be manually carrying buckets of water until you're 70. So let's go ahead and build the machine. Let's talk about the intake manifold, the automated cash flow, okay? This is the basics of thermodynamics, guys. You cannot have a high-performance engine if the fuel line is clogged. Most people treat their income like a bucket. They get paid, the money hits their checking account, and then they stare at it and ask, okay, what bills do I need to pay? This is called reactive financial management. It is slow, it's inefficient, and it's prone to error. You need to have more of a proactive flow control. Here's the rule. Touch the money as little as possible. I want you to set up what I call the 0-day transfer. The exact moment your paycheck or client invoice hits your primary checking account, which is the intake, an automated rule gets triggered. It does not wait for you to wake up. It does not wait for you to feel like saving. It executes the code. This is something you could set up in all your checking accounts today. Everything being digitized. In order to do this, you have to do the following. Step 1, calculate your burn rate, which is your rent, your food, your utilities. Step 2, everything above that number is fuel. Step 3, set an auto transfer for 100% of that fuel to leave the checking account immediately, guys. Why immediately, do you say, Mo? Because if money sits in your spending account for more than 24 hours, your brain starts to view it as available funds. Oh my God. Available funds? You'll find a reason to spend it, guys. You'll buy the shoes, you'll order the Uber Eats, and all the other nonsense that you don't really need to be doing right now because this is your fuel. You don't be burning your fuel on random nonsense, guys. Delayed gratification. We are removing the human element from the equation. With this approach, there is no delayed gratification or emotional control. It's all automated. You're removing the component of your brain having to think about it, that you have the money sitting there. The money disappears before your emotions can get involved. It moves to the staging area, your brokerage or your high yield savings. This is the intake manifold. It's clean, it's fast, it's automatic. You're cleaning up your fuel line, unclogging it. Let's get into section 2. Let's get into phase 2, the ignition system, which is the investment vehicle. Once you have stage 1 done, we move on to stage 2, which is the investment vehicle here, guys. Pay attention. Now that we have fuel in the engine, we need the ignition. We need to combust that fuel. My fellow engineers, you guys know how combustion reactions work. There's a few key components you need to make combustions happen, right? You need to combust that fuel to create forward motion. This is where most high earners get cute and they start blowing up their engine. They try to pick stocks, okay? They try to time the market. They try to find the next NVIDIA. Listen to me. You're not a hedge fund manager. You're an engineer. You're a problem solver. Your competitive edge is your income, not your stock picking ability at this point, okay? You need an ignition system that fires consistently every single time with zero maintenance. So I like to use something called a 3-piston approach. Piston number 1 is going to be your broad market index. It's going to be your workhorse, okay? Mo, what the heck do I invest in? Stock tickers like VOO or VTI. They're called broad market indexes, and they're going to be your workhorse. This is going to be the boring approach. It's going to be a reliable 8 to 10% return I'm just providing some perspectives for you guys to take a look at and do your due diligence on your own time. Okay, there's a lot of options out there. I'm just providing some starter points for you guys to go ahead and do your own research here. VOO, VOO, VTI. These are boring options. They've provided a reliable 8 to 10% return that compounds over decades, guys. And you would automate this daily. Yes, you heard me right. Daily. Automated daily. You don't buy once a month. You buy $50 or $100 every single day. This is called dollar cost averaging on steroids. It smooths out the volatility curve so flat it looks like a straight line up. Piston number 2 is going to be your dividend growth cash flow. It's going to be stock tickers like SCHD or specific dividend aristocrats. Why do you ask, Mo? Well, because I want to see the system working, right? You want to see the system working too, don't you? Right? When I get a dividend notification, that's a positive feedback. It's the engine that's purring. The engine's turned on. It's purring. It's producing money for you. You're getting dividends hitting your account. For those newer investors, this is going to be something that is a proof for you. Like, oh wow, this is actually working. Money is actually getting created and brought into my accounts while I'm sleeping. But do you take out those dividends? No, you reinvest those automatically with something called DRIP, D-R-I-P. This creates a feedback loop again, guys, where the output of the engine becomes the input for the next cycle. It keeps producing income and putting money back into itself. Piston number 3 is going to be asymmetric, the asymmetric bet. This is going to be your turbocharged options. This is going to be a small portion of your portfolio, 5 to 10% probably. This is where you can take higher risks, maybe crypto, maybe specific tech sectors, ETFs. But it's capped, guys. The system does not allow this piston to get bigger than 10%. If it does, you're going to have to rebalance. I'm using verbiage for investing that you guys are going to have to do your due diligence on and look at later. And I'm probably going to talk about it further in another video in passive investing. Okay. The beauty of this system is that it requires zero decision-making energy, guys. I don't wake up and check the news. I don't care what the Fed is doing. It doesn't matter what's happening out there. The script runs, the money buys, and the wealth starts to build up, regardless of what's happening. You got to remove your emotions from the engine, from these 3 pistons. Section number 3, the filter, the protecting of these assets now. Okay, an engine without a filter will destroy itself. Dust and grit get in. In finance, the grit is taxes and fees. You can have the best returns in the world, but if you're inefficient with taxes, you're leaking horsepower. We're getting into the kind of the higher level, later stages of concern here. For most people, they don't have money getting generated like this. And so, their concern is not really taxes as much as it is trying to increase their income. But are you maxing out your tax advantage accounts first? Do you guys have a 401k, a Roth IRA, an HSA? If you are a high earner, the HSA, which is the health savings account, is the ultimate engineering hack. It's a triple tax advantage. Tax-free in, tax-free growth, tax-free out for medical expenses. We're all going to get old one day, right? It is the most efficient investment vehicle in the US tax code. If you aren't maxing this, you're driving with the parking brake on. You guys like driving around with your parking brakes on? That's leak number 1 that we just discussed, the tax drag. Leak number 2, as part of this whole process of creating a filter for your engine and protecting your assets, leak number 2 is going to be the expense ratio. Check the expense ratios on your funds. If you're paying 1% for a mutual fund that underperforms the S&P 500, you're being scammed. You're paying for a fancy label on a bad product. Stick to the low-cost index funds with expense ratios that are under 0.05%. We want 99.95% of our fuel to go into the wheels, not to the bank's profit margin. Let's get into section 4 here, the turbocharger. This is scaling your income. Now you might be thinking, Mo, this is great, but 10% a year is slow. And you're right, it is slow. That's why we need a turbocharger. The stock market is for preserving and slowly growing wealth. It's not for creating massive wealth quickly, guys. The only way to create massive wealth is to increase the input pressure. You need to make more money. No amount of investing is going to outperform opening up a successful business and making millions a year from nothing. The only way to create massive wealth is to increase the input pressure. You need to make more money, but this is critical. You do not do this by working more hours, guys. You do not do that by working more hours. We already established that that kills you in the last video, but you guys might want to go check out. You do this by increasing your value per hour. This is where my consulting business comes in. I took the skills that I learned, systems thinking, data analysis, problem solving, and I packed them into a B2B offer, a business-to-business offer. I sell results, not time. And that's exactly what I do. I help businesses optimize their operations through data and AI initiatives. If I can save a company $1 million in operational waste using data, they'll happily pay me $200,000. That's a 5x ROI for them and a massive injection of fuel for my engine. If you're a business owner or a CTO or a decision maker who's trying to figure out how to leverage data and AI to fix your own system inefficiencies, I'd like to talk to you. Go ahead and reach out to me in the comments. I'm opening up a few spots on my waitlist specifically for organizations that need high-level help with these initiatives. Let's go ahead and discuss your situation. There's a link in the description below. Click it. Get on the waitlist. Let's see if we can engineer a solution for you. In conclusion, guys, here's the end state. This is what we are building towards. There comes a point, the crossover point, where the output of your engine, your investment returns, exceeds the input of your job, your salary. That's the moment that the machine becomes self-sustaining. That's the moment you're free. If you guys do this, if you guys implement this, guys, there's going to come a point where your engine's producing more money than you could ever be able to produce on your own working a normal job. It's called the crossover point, and it happens sooner than you think. But you'll never get there if you're manually shifting gears every day. You will burn out. You will make mistakes. Build the system. Automate the flow. Remove your emotions from the process and let the math do the heavy lifting, guys. Check the link below and go ahead and get on the waitlist if you need help with your data and AI strategies and initiatives. I'm Mo. Stop grinding, start engineering, and I'll see you guys on the next one.